Welcome back to another episode of Sports Dan Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker, and who I'm here with today?
Justin Helms, host of At the Helm. I'm going to get back onto it hopefully today. I got my plans ready. We'll see.
Well, all right, Justin. The NFL season is coming to an end with it's championship weekend. Tell me, what have you learned so far in the playoffs so far?
What I learned so far is that if you had asked me a week ago, I would have told you that the Bills and the Bengals were frauds. But as of right now, I'm only going to go with the Bills being frauds because I do think that the Bengals have a good matchup, so they could make me sound stupid if I said that. I do think that we'll talk about it later. I don't think Kansas City is just a crazy matchup. They can get past that. But the Bills are frauds, bro. Josh Allen goes out there, throws 2 picks up against the Dolphins. If the Dolphins weren't on their third-string quarterback, the Dolphins would have played the Bengals last weekend, bro. And everyone knows that. Skylar Thompson was so bad at calling plays and he threw 2 picks as well. And he was so bad that, he literally couldn't even get the plays out, bro. What's his name? McDaniel's on the sideline trying to tell him the plays, all this other stuff. Bro is so bad that they had to call a timeout 2-3 times in the third quarter, wasting their timeouts, and then they just start running up delay of game penalties, bro. If not for that dysfunction and having their starting quarterback, the Bills would have lost before they even got to the Bengals. So I don't know why they were hyping up when they did get to the Bengals. There's people over here picking the Bills. I'm like, did y'all watch last weekend? Did we watch last weekend though? I'm really trying to understand. And the Bengals, they looked like frauds at times too, bro. They got Tyler Huntley out there making y'all look stupid. If it wasn't for literally 2 yards and a bad play on the 2-yard line, the Bengals would have never played the Bills. It would have been the Ravens. The score literally would have been flipped. It was 24-17. At the time, it was 17-17. Tyler Huntley fumbles, 98-yard fumble return, 24-17. No one else scores the rest of the game. Literally, that one big play flipped it, bro. The Bengals honestly got lucky to get into that position, bro. Harbaugh made a bad call, and Tyler Huntley 5'10", trying to jump over a pile. Unless your name is Cam Newton, Josh Allen, or Saquon Barkley, I don't want to see you diving on a QB sneak, bro. Stay low and get your pads under. That's crazy to me. That is so insane. I don't know what his thought process was. Putting the ball all the way up there in the playoff situation. Bro, you're out of your noggin. And then the other thing, I don't know why people were picking the Bucs over the Cowboys. What was the thought process behind that? Did you watch the Bucs all season? People just want to say something that gets them on a viral post so that they can be I told y'all so, Cowboys are frauds and all this other stuff. I won't say the Cowboys are frauds. I'll say Dak Prescott is a fraud, but the Cowboys in general, no. And that's in the difference between me saying the Bills are frauds and Josh Allen's a fraud. I think Josh Allen is a fraud too, but I think the Bills as a whole messed up because their defense didn't lock up the way they were supposed to. Their running game sucks. Devin Singletary, James Cook, and Nyheim Hines aren't good enough. You can't just run them up the middle. They're all the same type of back. They're going to catch passes and stuff like that. So I can say the whole Bills team as a whole to me is a fraud. And Sean McDermott got out-coached by Zach Taylor. But with the Cowboys, the difference is I don't think they just got out-coached. I don't think that the defense went out there and folded. They only let up 19 points. Their running backs were still good. You can only do so much with Zeke, and you know that. Tony Pollard got hurt. Dak Prescott threw 2 picks. That was the difference in that game. Dak Prescott doesn't throw 2 picks. They might have won that game. So that's why I said Dak Prescott's a fraud. But I don't know what people were thinking about the Bucs beating the Cowboys. You can watch all season long. I do not care. Tom Brady sucked this whole entire season. That coaching staff, I hate to say it because they got 2-3 black coaches on that coaching staff, sucked the entire season. And then they went and fired Byron Leftwich instead of Todd Bowles, which was insane to me. And we could talk about that another time. But there's just so much of looking at the teams in the playoffs and being they were fake, they were fake, they were fake. The Vikings, fake. Giants, they proved something to me. I give Daniel Jones his credit. Shout out to you, Daniel Jones. You proved that you can possibly be a starting franchise QB in the league. We'll see what happens next season. Hopefully they can get a receiver and really solidify that and everything. And hopefully they sign Saquon back because I see people talking about Saquon maybe leaving and stuff, which is insane to me. But yeah, that's really all I got to say, bro. I could go on a tangent about the Bucks firing Byron Leftwich, but I'm gonna keep it P. Like I'm gonna keep it real chill. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna push that agenda quite yet, bro. But like we've seen Todd Bowles in multiple situations as a head coach, and I would like y'all to go back and look at what that looked like versus what Byron Leftwich was doing for 3 years before Todd Bowles became the head coach. Like that should let you know who should have really been fired. So yeah.
Okay. All I have to say is the teams that made moves throughout the season are still in the playoffs. The 49ers got Christian McCaffrey. The Bengals got Hayden Hurts. Hayden Hurts paid dividends against the Bills.
Yep.
The Chiefs got Kadarius Toney. And then the Eagles got pass rushing help with Robert Quinn and also acquiring AJ Brown.
And DBs, they got everything. It was stupid.
Yeah. They got the whole squad. And then another thing I learned is that if you can't run the ball, you will not be successful in the NFL.
One of the Bills' problems. That's what I said.
Like we can't, we know it's a pass heavy league, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to playoff football, you need to have balance. And the Bills had no balance. That's why they simply lost. Joe Mixon had 90 yards in a tud. So that's why things just aren't working out. The Chiefs got what's his name? Pacheco,
yeah.
We have Pacheco. Pacheco, he puts up 90. Christian McCaffrey, we all know how great Christian McCaffrey is. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. They have a plethora of a rushing committee. Mm-hmm. But it's just things work out in those teams' favor where you have balance in the playoffs, and that has shown me a lot. And for the Cowboys, like the Dak Prescott had two interceptions, but at the end of the day, the real enemy is Kellen Moore. That's what I think. I think Kellen. Yeah.
That last play was insane. What?
I saw the idea because I saw the idea with like having like all the playmakers out, but it's like having Zeke at center is wild to me, and it's just like that play just was
stuck
bad to begin with. CeeDee Lamb showed me that he's a wide receiver one. Like we know because in the beginning of the season when they traded Amari Cooper, we were like, will CD take that next step to being a true wide receiver one?
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie, I thought CD was a wide receiver one last year, bro. Amari was there though. Like
yeah, but CD showed up in the playoffs. The Jaguars, they showed me potential. The Giants, they showed me their culture has changed, so they will be okay. So I can respect that. So all in all,
I think that's another thing that got proved in this playoffs is that coaching is so important. Sean McDermott got out coached by the Bengals by Zach Taylor. The reason that the Jags and the Giants even got as far as they did is because they had really good coaches. Doug Peterson and then Brian Daboll went out there and put on great performances, and they got further than they should have. So,
yeah.
I got they're eating too.
Oh, and another thing. Stop comparing Josh Allen to Cam Newton. Cam Newton had Ted Ginn Jr. Do you not know who Ted Ginn Jr. is? He was a return man. And his best receiving threat was Greg Olsen.
Bro was dropping everything.
So please, stop the comparison. That's so
he had
bad.
Steve Smith for one season. Then he had Greg Olsen, Kelvin Benjamin, which doesn't count, Devin Funchess, which doesn't count. Like, he had a bunch of guys that sucked. Like,
yes. And Cam led him to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So it's just things that.
And he was MVP.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the fact that the NFL basically counted out the Bengals to begin with is so like bad on their part because you basically said that the Bills and Chiefs play. We're gonna play that neutral site in Atlanta, and we're going to prioritize this game like so much. We're going to advertise the game so much.
And you could tell in that game, bro, there was like 2-3 calls that definitely should have went the Bengals' way, and they went back and reviewed it and they took it away. That pass that Josh Allen was throwing where he got hit by Mike Hilton in they called it a incomplete pass. Bro's arm was not going forward. His arm was literally barely maybe half an inch of going forward. Like, that was a fumble, bro. Like, he got knocked and that was a fumble. And Jamar Chase's touchdown was a touchdown in the end zone, bro. He caught the ball and he hit the ground. Like, I don't know what they were talking about. Like, that's so you could tell the NFL was pushing. They were trying to, push that little agenda, try to get the Bills up in there, bro. And then the Bills was everyone's favorite coming into the season, like starting the season. So I think they were just trying to get that even more, honestly.
Yeah. So now it's championship weekend for the conferences. Let's start off with the AFC Championship. In my opinion, it's a rematch. The Bengals, and the Chiefs, two great generational quarterbacks, in my opinion.
Yep.
So, what I have to say is the Chiefs. If you keep up Mahomes upright, you have a chance to win the game. If you don't, you guys will lose because Chad Henne cannot win you a playoff game. And the defense just keep things in front of you and not behind you. That's what happened to the Bills. The Bills kept. I said the Bills kept looking at the eye candy. They tried to take away Jamar, and Hayden Hurst was open, and Hayden Hurst had a field day, getting open and having big runs after the catch. And for the Bengals, just keep doing what you're doing. Have us against the world attitude. It's gotten y'all to the Super Bowl. Well, so y'all can win with that attitude if y'all keep going.
Yep.
So yeah.
For what I say about that game is, I feel like it'll once again, like you said, I think it's going to come down to the running game. Bengals only allow 100 rushing yards per game right now. The Chiefs allow 144. If you let Joe Mixon hit that 80-plus mark, and he has a touchdown too, I don't know if it's going to look great for the Chiefs because that Bengals defense is real. Like, we saw it last year. We all thought that Pat Mahomes could by himself get past the Bengals defense. He couldn't even do it with Tyreek last year. He doesn't have Tyreek this year. He does have a lot of weapons still. He does have Juju. He has Kelsey, of course. He got Pacheco, McKinnon, like all them guys. But unless they're able to, just sling the ball downfield consistently, over and over, and get big plays off that, if the Bengals keep away and just keep running the ball, I don't know how that's going to go for the Chiefs. But I don't know if you want to give your pick first, but yeah, right now I think it will be a close game, but the Bengals, all they have to do is keep the ball on the ground, play keep away, don't let Pat Mahomes have it. Chiefs, I think you need some big plays and you have to cause some turnovers. You have to get a pick or a fumble or something on the defensive side to prove that your defense isn't just out there just playing bend, don't break all the time.
Okay. Before we get our positions, who give me two impact players from both teams?
Like I already said, for the Bengals, Joe Mixon, he's the impact player, is number one. And then number two is Hubbard, defensive end. He's going to have a big job trying to get after Pat Mahomes, making his life real tough in the pocket. So, and he's been playing really good so far, in these playoffs. So, and then for the Chiefs, I'm going to have to go Georgia Southern alum, Jerick McKinnon. If he can get it done over the last 9 weeks of the season, bro had over the last month of the season, he had 10 touchdowns and almost 600-700 yards, bro. That's really crazy. And then for I think I might just go double offense, honestly. Or maybe I'll do a group. The Chiefs DBs in general. You have to be able to slow down Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, and Hayden Hurst. That's a lot of guys that you have to figure out how to get together. So for the Chiefs, it's the DB group in general, and then McKinnon. For Bengals, it's Hubbard and Mixon.
Yeah. For mine, I'll say for the Bengals, I'll do Mixon, and then I'll do a group for them. It's gonna be the secondary. because with no matter how many people you put on Travis Kelce, he's going to have over 100 yards.
Yeah.
And he's going to have 9 receptions. It's all about how much can you contain Travis Kelce and how much we it's all much like it doesn't matter the yards, but we allow him to score because once Travis Kelce scores, it's like he's like once he scores 1, he's going to get 2, and it's just like Kelsey's that has that much of an impact in the receiving game,
Right.
and also for the Chiefs, I'll say the offensive line because the Bengals they like to blitz. They blitz like I think over like 25% of their plays. So keeping Patrick Mahomes upright is going to be huge, even with that sprained ankle. And then
Yep.
for the defense, I'll say Justin Reed because he has to like patrol the area with he has to know everything that's going on. He has to put people in the right places in the secondary so that they won't give up key mistakes to the great receiving group that the Bengals have with Jamar T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Hayden Hurst. So he has to do a great job at patrolling and making plays for the secondary. So your prediction is who's winning?
I'm gonna have to go Bengals. I hate it, bro, but like I have to admit, Joe Burrow's that guy, bro. Like I remember coming out of college, I was like, bro, Joe Beasley, he did that for 1 year. Like, no way they're gonna draft him off that and it's gonna go good for the next like however many years. And he just keeps proving it wrong. Like, so I'm gonna have to go Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I think the spread right now is like 1.5. Like, if I remember right, it's so low. Let me look. Yeah, it's 1.5, leaning the Bengals' way, actually.
Yeah.
And actually, no, it's 1. It just changed. Literally just changed right in front of me. So it's 1, leaning the Bengals' way. The over-under is 47. I'm going to have to go Bengals by a field goal. I think Evan McPherson pulls it out for him.
Okay. How many times the Chiefs lost to them? And basically, they said in the calendar year the Chiefs lost to the Bengals 3 times.
They got their number, bro. Like
it's crazy because like the fact that we're still even considering this, like if it was any other team, we're like, oh, the Bengals. But it's like it's the Chiefs and like it's Patrick Mahomes. It's like we start to consider like Mahomes' magic, and it's just like. I don't know. Like I want to say the Bengals so bad, but I just feel like Patrick Mahomes. I think if he wins this and he goes on to play in the Super Bowl, and if he puts up a great performance, he's one of them ones. But
with
I just think
healthy, I'd flip. But right now,
that's what I'm saying. It's like okay, Mahomes 85% is better than 3/4 of these quarterbacks.
Oh, what? For sure.
So that's the thing. So I'll take the Chiefs in this. I think Andy Reid would scheme up a great offensive plan to make sure him and Eric Bieniemy would scheme up a great offensive plan to get Patrick going and get the running game and the short pass game that can be an extension for the running game going, especially with weapons like Kadarius and Jared McKinnon, who's also twitchy and very quick and explosive with the ball in their hands. So I think that the Chiefs will win by, I'll say by 2. Chiefs by 2. Yeah. So I think this is probably gonna be the best matchup of the weekend, in my opinion. To the NFC Championship in Philadelphia, the Eagles and the 49ers. This game right here, I don't know who to choose. It'll go Imano, and it's just 2 great stories going on with Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant, with Jalen Hurts getting scrutinized before the season turned to an MVP candidate. It's just all the things that are riding in the right way for both teams, with the Eagles only losing 1 game with Jalen Hurts. The 49ers coming in, winning 13 games straight. So it's 13 or 14 games straight.
13? Yeah. I did not know it was that many straight.
Yeah, 13, 14 games straight. And ever since they've been 3-4. After that, it's been like 10, 11.
I realized that, bro.
Yeah, they're like 10, 11. So it's just a lot of things that are going right for both teams. What will you expect out of this game?
The last time the Niners lost was to the Chiefs. That's crazy.
Yes.
But that was on my birthday, October 23rd. That was forever ago. Yo. That is blowing my mind. But I think this is going to be a great matchup. I'm more looking forward to this game than the other game. I might be a little biased though. I want to see Hurts. So
he's an Oklahoma product.
Okay, you can say that if you want. Majority of his time spent at Alabama, graduated from Alabama, had more success at Alabama. Fun fact. But I will say that I'm looking forward to seeing the number one defense versus the number one offense. Like the Eagles are the number one offense with yards per game and points per game. Niners are number one defense, yards per game, points per game, and stuff like that. So I'll really be interested to see what exactly they do. I mean, a lot of times in these matchups, I feel like we end up seeing the offense prevail just because of how the game is played today. But I think one person who's kind of slept on is Brock Purdy. Yes, he is in a great position. He is in a great system that benefits him. He doesn't have to do anything absolutely crazy. He just has to go out there and play the game that Kyle Shanahan puts in front of him. But yet he continues to go out there and then do a little bit more than that. And it proves that it ends up helping them in the end. Like we saw it in the game against the
Cowboys?
Yeah, against the Cowboys. We saw it in the game. Well, no, they had the bye. No, they didn't. Who did they play in that first round? We saw it in the game against the Seahawks, and we saw it again in the game against the Cowboys. Brock Purdy went out there. He did more than he really had to, and it ended up paying off for them. He made some throws that are throws that a lot of NFL quarterbacks aren't making right now. So it's hard for me to just count him out. I really think that he should be the quarterback they use going forward with the Niners. But I really want to see what it looks like with that offense versus defense. What I really think is going to come down to is, once again, like you said, who can run the ball better, and then set off the play action off of that. So it's Sirianni versus Shanahan if we're really talking about this. I'm leaning Eagles, but barely. Because to me, the Eagles' offense is great. They're number one, but their defense is also great. You know what I'm saying? The Niners' offense is pretty good. It's in the top, 10 teams, top 8 maybe, even top 6. And their defense is number one, but their offense is just literally a half step behind to me. The Eagles' defense is a little bit better defensive-wise than what the Niners' offense is offensive-wise, in my opinion. Just barely. And I think that when I look at the matchups in the defensive backfield, I think that Darius Slay can keep Brandon Ayuk under check to an extent. I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson can keep Deebo Samuel under check to an extent. I think that their outside weapons, those receivers that they have, compared to how many DBs the Eagles have with Bradbury, Gardner-Johnson, I'm forgetting their safeties' names right now, Darius Slay, all those guys, I don't think it's going to be just Ayuk and Deebo running free. I don't think it's just going to, we're just going to see them flying around and stuff like that. They're going to have to use Kittle a lot. They're going to have to use McCaffrey a lot and see if they can run that ball to get their receivers open on the back end. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm leaning Eagles.
Yeah. You said that the game plan, I think Brock Purdy is another I don't bring it up, but Brock Purdy's it's like Stinson Bennett in a sense. He doesn't have to do too much. He does well with the game plan. he makes sure the playmakers get the ball and he let the playmakers make the plays. But also, there is times where he does make the play that pays dividends in the end to seal the win. And so, Brock Purdy has done a fantastic job with the team. John Lynch, the GM, getting Christian McCaffrey has paid wonderful amounts to the team with running the ball, him being utilized as the weapon that he is.
Which is so crazy. Like, they gave the Panthers, like, pennies compared to what Christian McCaffrey can do.
And it's just like, with Debo, with Ayuk, with even George Kittle, like, it's just so much that goes right for the 49ers in the offense. Then the 49ers defense, Fred Warner's probably the best linebacker in the league.
Bro,
Like,
he's insane. Like, he's actually
like literally, I remember that one play where Dak was throwing the seam route, the CD, and Fred Warner was at the line of scrimmage, and he sprinted back and still made a play on the ball. And it was like,
bro was covering receivers. Like linebacker.
There's like I can't even think of a linebacker who could do that right now. And it's like
Dre Green.
Fred Warner make that defense go day in and day out. Also with Nick Bosa coming off the edge, they're terrific pass rush. And then I forget their safety names like Tuluma.
Yeah, Hawafanga, Tuluma.
Hawafanga. Yeah. It's like he came into the season, take the season off by storm. It's just like that team's so well put together. But then when I look at the Eagles offense and defense, like the Eagles are like just by like this much better. Like this much. And it's like
so barely, bro.
And this is why I said like this really gonna be a very physical game between both teams. Who sometimes have to hang their hat on their defense to get them out of the game sometimes. And I think that the Eagles will come out with the win, but it'll be by like 1 point, like 35-34.
35-34. Right now,
like one of those games.
Spread is 2.5 points with the Eagles winning. So
yeah.
Niners are underdogs in this. It's so tough, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Eagles in this one.
Yeah, and I think Jalen Hurts will show why he was an MVP candidate this game.
Should be MVP. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna say Eagles by a touchdown. I'm gonna say 1 touchdown.
Okay. That's not crazy. I'm still taking
Brock Purdy. I think they get some takeaways. Jalen Hurts don't turn the ball over for real. Brock Purdy hasn't either much, but I expect him to struggle more than he has.
I think like a 28-27 game or a 35-34 game. It's one of those games to me.
Yeah,
it'll be a real good game. So your impact players are Brock Purdy and who?
Yeah, my impact players are Brock Purdy, and then I think I'm gonna have to go Fred Warner. Like, he has to be the eraser out there. Like that, like anything bad going on, like, bro, shut it down. Like, you're the guy. Like, you have to figure this out for us. Like, we saw that against the CD Lamb, bro. Like that play should have been blown up. There should have never been a linebacker covering CD Lamb. But he made sure it didn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he has to go out there and he really has to be the eraser for them on the Niners side. For the Eagles, my 2 impact players, number 1, I'm going to say, I'm going to be a homer, roll tide, Devontae Smith. Because I think we're going to focus in on A.J. Brown. We all know that. And we've seen that over the last couple weeks or so. Like, teams are really focusing on A.J. Brown, and it's allowed Devontae Smith to get open more than what they would like. So I'm going to say A.J. Brown. And then on the defensive side, say Fletcher Cox. I think he's going to have to clog up that middle. You can't let McCaffrey have a big game. Like, so.
I'll say for me, Brock Purdy for sure. And I'll say Fred Warner because Fred Warner has to guard Dallas Goedert and stuff up the run game with Miles Sanders and the rushing attack that the Eagles have. And Another for the Eagles, I'll say Miles Sanders because if they start the running game going, it'll be so much easier for Jalen in the passing game because there'll be a lot of one-on-ones with AJ Brown, Devontae, and maybe a deep shot to Quez Watkins as well. And it's just things have to get going, but it all starts with the run game. And for the defense, for the Eagles, it's so many options.
It really is.
Oh, Jesus.
Hassan Reddick had a great game, but I still think it's still on guys like the D tackles up front for them to let Hassan Reddick get more free.
The whole defense line grew actually because they have to stuff the holes in the running game with Christian McCaffrey and everything. Plus they have to do what they do best, and that's get after the quarterback. So if they do their job, they'll be pretty okay.
That's so scary. Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham,
Josh Sweat,
Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis is still there, Javon Hargrave, like
yes. And thing is, four players have over 10 sacks.
That's insane activity, bro. That's so crazy. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so you say Eagles by a touchdown. I say Eagles by 1. Then you said Bengals by a field goal. I said Chiefs by 2. So that's a wrap for the NFL episode. Go tune into the NBA episode that's going to come out later on today. Peace.
Deuce.